Hey everyone, welcome back to Energy Gaming. Today I am building a beach house. This took me a couple tries to try to get the whole, setup right. So in an alternate universe, Tails lives with his mom and his dad on a beautiful beach house. And I wanted to build that. So as you can see, I'm putting all the walls in. It's a two-story house and they have a beautiful entryway. And I think it would look really nice in blue. But took a while to find the right shade because I didn't want it to be too dark. I wanted it to be more of like a lighter, beachy, airy feel. So, pretty much this is what the outside looks like, and I'm going to add in windows and trim paint and all that stuff because it needs a little entryway. And as you can see, I put in some sheets so that we can go and look at the debug section and add some. I think these are like vines, like ivy to put up your house. So I put some of those, and I think they look really pretty. Um, and then some flowers, of course, because flowers are beautiful. And as you can see, I added some of the ivy going up the walls, and then I wanted some trees, but I didn't want them to be that big because that's a little bit too big for the lot that we're on. Um, so I put some flower vines going up there too, and I added some trees because they're pretty. And now I'm adding in some windows, and here we go. So yeah, those ones I think work pretty well, but I kind of want something on the top that was a little bit different. So obviously, step one, we need something that will be able to get us to go to the second floor, and I don't want to fill in all space and not leave room. And there, as you can see, we have, it's going to open up. It's going to be a living area in the back. But when you walk in, you walk straight into the kitchen. And right now I'm designing lights so I can see everything. And I'm sorry if that hurts your eyes, but I want everything to be very bright. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to go like with an accent wall, but I ended up keeping everything the same, and I think it looks really good. I wanted there to be a beautiful kitchen island in the middle so that when you walk in, you see like the beautiful island and the trash can. It's got a coffee maker, tea maker, a fridge, some flowers, of course, and some plants to give it very much of like nice and like lived in. I wanted to go with a more of like a turquoise, like sea green bathroom, and I think it turned out pretty cute. The toilet, depending on to some people might think that's a little too much, but I think that that was awesome. We have some soap and some towels, of course, because you have to dry your hands after. And here's the living space, and I use the same wallpaper or paint, I think, as the kitchen. And we have some plants, of course, and I feel like the theme of the house is very sunflower based, as we will see in the future. So more sunflower based. Then we don't know what happened. They started turning into like like half tiles and stuff like that. And I was very confused. All I wanted to do was just move the island a little bit forward. So I ended up having to redo it, but that's okay. I wanted to give them a beautiful dining room table, but I thought small would fit a little bit better so that you kind of walk into that area and it's not in the back. It's kind of in like when you walk. And I wanted to I do end up centering it because it looks odd if it's not in the center. I went with these doors because they look blue, but they're white, but they also have like that little bit of blue. And I thought it'd be really fun for them to have a game table so that they could all, Tails' friends could come over or your Sims friends could come over and they could all play some games together and a bookshelf because, why not? People like to read. Reading's fun. Um, and then over here, as I said, I really knew that I wanted there to be a painting table and I wanted to center everything out. Um, so now we're in the entryway and I went with the same wallpaper and floor to just keep everything connected. And this little chair in the corner, you could take your shoes off and stuff. And of course, I wanted to find some stuff that could go into the entry room like that. And I think that that looks really pretty. And then I found like these posters. I thought maybe that's that they saw that on their like beach somewhere, like maybe there's a waterfall there. So I thought that that was pretty cool. And then of course you need clothes because it's an entryway. That's where you hang some like coats and stuff up, and you take your shoes off. And it took a while to find some of the stuff that I ended up using, but I really like the sandal light stuff. And of course, since Tails is a fox, I had to put the little fox basket in the corner, which I think is adorable. Um, and I feel like, he just came home from school. Something is you kind of just throw your backpack and lunch and all that stuff just on the floor. So I did end up finding the backpack. It took me a while to find it. And then it was, what swatch do I want to use? And since he lives on the beach, I feel like he would really have like the watermelon, like beachy type of backpack. But I also wanted to give him more of like a normal, like lunchbox that kind of more felt like him in general. So yeah, and then I had some canvases in the back because you're painting, you're gonna have the canvases. Next is the bedrooms. Now I gave him this bedroom right over here, and he has his own bathroom, which is pretty cool. I gave him a fancier bed because I don't know. I feel like what you'll see the parents' rooms a little bit more plain, so like they gave all their money, like they bought everything for their child. Um, I looked forever to find those seats. It took so long. In fact, this build took me an hour and 11 minutes and 45 seconds to build in full, which is a really long time. Then again, here we go, the sunflowers. I just feel like it's a very sunflowery house for some reason. Um, and yeah, so we have his dresser, and I think, yeah. So I wanted to give him a mirror above the dresser too, because I think that you get to look. How does this outfit look? I put some flowers in the corner there. And now I tried to pick a wallpaper, and I wasn't sure if I loved it or hated it at this moment. And I decided I was going to clutter the little area by like what was going to be on the dresser and all that stuff. And since he is Tails, yeah, even though it's an alternate universe, he is still Tails. I wanted to give him some stuff that kind of felt like him, like the solar system light and the robots and all that stuff, because those are the things that he enjoys building and creating. And I gave him a model plane because I just felt like this is what reminds me of him. Like you think of these, you think of things like these. And I wanted to put some sports equipment in the corner because, in this universe, maybe he plays sports. So I put that over there. And I wanted to put books, but then I found the books that were falling over, and I felt like that looked a little bit more realistic because books never just stack like that. Like something's always happening where one book's not fitting, or one video game or whatever is not fitting, and it's just leaning over. Then I put some curtains on the windows, and I think that they look very pretty. It took a while for them to actually snap into place. I wanted to give him some posters on the walls, although I wasn't quite sure what he'd like, and then I found this dinosaur, so I put it on the other side because I felt like it was really cool. Now we have the bathroom. So I put a lamp in the corner, and then I gave him like a fancier tub, and I wasn't sure if he'd like the fancier tub or if he wouldn't want one that was that fancy. So I decided to give him more of a basicer one, but it's still pretty fancy. I gave him a cute. I was deciding between those two. Like I wanted this room to have more of like the kiddish aspect of he's lived here since he was a newborn. So some of those rugs or that mirror he might have had since he was like 3. Over here, we have the parents' bedroom, which I decided I wanted to be a little bit more simple and less, clutter filled. And, you know, I wanted to make it look like most of the money went into those rooms. And, his parents kind of just like they already know what they want and what they need and what they don't need, you know. Again, I made sure that I kept all the doors the same, and I really like the way that they are white, yet they have like the blue hints to them. It makes it feel very beachy. So I decided the parents' room is kind of basic and simple. There's not a lot of stuff. So I decided to give them a really cool, like crazy type of bathroom where like look at that, like it's just completely like red and stuff. and then I contemplated putting laundry there, and it didn't fit, and then, all that stuff. So I decided to go back and make sure that I added that stuff over here. So I gave him some soap and some towels and all that stuff because I forgot it the first time. And I ended up giving him, I believe I ended up giving him a bathrobe as well. Um, I gave them, their toothbrushes and stuff. Oh, and then I came back to the bathroom because I keep forgetting things from room to room. I keep like going into their room, and being like, okay, well, if they don't have the laundry, maybe Tails gets a hamper so he could put his stuff in the hamper and they could wash it later. Then I decided you come up, the room's kind of boring. So let's give them like a desk with like somewhere to study and do stuff like that. And I felt like that would be a really cool room here. So I decided to look through all this stuff and see what clutter. And I really liked that painting. I thought it was pretty cool. So I decided that that would be a cool painting. And it matches the solar system light in Tails' room. So maybe he found that painting. He's like, I know where I want to hang this up. And I decided to put an open book on top of the regular books just because why not? And I gave him some I gave the regular room walls, but then I wanted to give him like some newspapery walls, like maybe like those are like some of like notes that he's written or some blueprints or something. And then originally I wanted to give them this completely like open floor, but then the issue was that one room you could see down like where the wall was, and I didn't want that, so I ended up making it a little bit the opening's not as big, and I put some stuff over there, like a picture that's of underwater stuff. Um, Maybe those are some fish that he's caught, and I ended up trying to find the right table to put over there to put a frog there, and then some other cool things that I think Tails has either found or created or just likes. Moving to the outside again, I added in some more ivy and some trees and stuff like that. I wasn't sure what that was at first, so I had to click on it. And then I felt like, okay, I'm not doing beach enough. I need to think more of at the beach, less like, what is this? I need this, obviously. And I really like those flower boxes and how like they're hanging over and stuff, but I end up using a lot of different flower boxes, which is like, very confusing. And I was very confused about the whole window situation as well. Then, you have the attic window. And I wanted to give that one the droopy one. Yeah, it took a while to find it again. And then it's the process of it's not fitting where I need it to fit. So I ended up going there and pressing the 9 key, and then it finally fit. Took a while, but it did happen. And I put some bushes around the house to make it look prettier and nicer. And of course, I did on the other side too to make it look nice and neat and pretty. And I put that dock there. Even though I imagined the beach to be on the front of his house, I feel like there's always like, maybe that was an old dock, or maybe the ocean is to the back. So I gave him some sand, and I thought maybe I'll only do it in the backyard. I do end up doing it everywhere. So yeah. Another thing, this is completely base game and then the holiday pack, which is free. So it's those two only, and I think that's so it's easier to buy, obviously. And then people always don't want you to go into their yard when you're at the beach. Like they never want you to go and cut through their yard because too many people would do it. So I put that fence in the back, kind of like with the overgrown grass. Like don't go here. So yeah, I don't have any packs on besides like the free ones on my computer either, which is what I built this on. So yeah. Anyway, looks pretty nice. And then I gave like the mailbox and stuff, and I think that's it. Goodbye.